Not sure if I wanted to make a video about this watch. The watch we're going to talk about today is a Cartier tank, but it is a small quartz gem set Cartier tank, and I think it's going to look wonderful on a man's wrist. Let's talk all about it. Well, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Parikh Kumar, and this is the Mainspringer channel. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a watch from Cartier that I think is very unusual and surprisingly looks great on a man's wrist. So we all know Cartier has a storied history as a jewelry maker. However, they also happen to be the company that made one of the first men's wristwatch back in 1904 for the Brazilian aviator Alberto Santos Dumont. Now, this particular watch is a little different because it melds both these areas of jewelry and watchmaking together into one single piece. The watch we're going to talk about is the Cartier reference WGTA 0269. Now, this watch features a square tank case like we all are familiar with. However, the dimensions of this case are 22 millimeters by 29.5 millimeters. So in terms of a perspective of this watch size, it wears more like a 34 millimeter watch in a traditional round watch proportion. 34 millimeter watches were extremely common back in the day, but today they are typically considered a small size. I happen to own a few 34 millimeter vintage watches that I wear quite regularly. Now, because of the size, the watch actually needs to have a quartz movement because of how small, compact, and thin it is. And it's got a lug-to-lug width of about 16 millimeters, which tapers down to a 14 millimeter pin buckle. Now, of course, the star of this particular watch is the dial of the watch itself. The dial features a central rectangular lacquered black region, which is surrounded by 151 tiny diamonds laid out in a pave style, which makes this quite striking even though the watch has such small proportions. And I think this is why it could look really good on a man's wrist, because the watch is small, but it actually has a very large personality and looks quite stunning on the wrist. Unlike most Cartiers that have a sapphire cabochon on the crown, this particular watch has a diamond cabochon, which makes this somewhat unique and distinguished, but it goes better with the pave diamonds that scatter the dial of the watch. Now, this is not a watch for everyone, and I feel that in order to pull this off, one needs to really embrace the design as well as the aesthetics of this watch in order to pull it off. Not to mention that it is smaller size, so one needs to be comfortable with it. Now, I don't have an issue with smaller sized watches. I wear 34 millimeter vintage watches on a regular basis. In fact, most integrated steel sports watches, particularly from brands like Audemars Piguet, Patek, and Vacheron, I actually find anything greater than 37 millimeters too big on my wrist. So in fact, some of the vintage references that are about 33 millimeter Audemars Piguet dials, which probably in today's proportion is a lady's watch, tend to wear surprisingly well on a men's wrist. So if you are interested in those sort of watches, this particular Cartier is a home run for you. Here's a wrist shot of what this watch looks like on my 6.5 millimeter wrist, and I think it looks fabulous and quite akin to some of the vintage watches that I own. The watch is incredibly beautiful with the diamonds. It's really got this dazzle, even though it may look small on the wrist. Again, the watch really shines and captures a lot of attention. And at the end of the day, I think even if it's a small watch, if it proportionally and personality wise looks better on your wrist, I think that is an acceptable trade-off. But what do you think about this watch? Would you wear a watch this small? What is your preferred watch size? Let me know in the comments below. If you are new to this channel, please do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. About 98% of the people who are viewing this channel are not subscribed, so I would really appreciate it if you could like this video and click the subscribe button so that you are notified about future videos. I also plan to do a Q&A session in my next video, so if there are any compelling watch questions, things you'd like to know about my watch collection, please do put a comment below so that we have a action-packed Q&A session. With that, thanks for watching and have a great day.